Major League Baseball has officially dropped their power rankings for the brand new year, and today I'm not only going to share it, but of course I'm going to add my own opinion to this fact. How's it going, everyone? My name's FamedFriar. Welcome back to another video where today we're going to be discussing the brand new power rankings for the 23 season. New year, new power rankings. Very interesting list we got here. Tons of teams that I wasn't expecting in certain places, so of course I'm going to talk about it. But before we even discuss, if you're yet to hit that subscribe button, I highly recommend you do so. Hit that like button as well, and let's talk about this interesting list. This list is from MLB.com. I will put the link in the description so you guys can check it out for yourself, because they have a little bit of reasoning why, but I'm going to share my reasoning if I agree with it or why I don't agree with it. Number one, the obvious Houston Astros just came off winning a World Series. And, you know, they lost Justin Verlander, of course, but they still have an insane rotation. Lance McCullers, Framber Valdez, you know, Christian Javier. They have tons of starters. Luis Garcia. They have plenty of starting options. And you know what? One of their biggest holes in the field last year was first base. So what do? They go out and sign Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu is a huge signing for them. Big deal. It's an obvious number one. I think anyone would agree with this. If not, they may want to learn a bit about baseball. Number two, once again, more on the expected side, that is going to be the Mets. The Mets won 101 games last year. I think we kind of discount that because they were unable to win their division due to kind of a choke at the end of the year. Still a very good baseball team. What do? They add Justin Verlander, they add Kodai Senga, they add Brandon Nimmo back, they add tons of pieces, and maybe even Carloscorrea. It says eventually Carloscorrea will come to an agreement in this article. Interesting little nugget to keep in mind. Very interesting stuff. I mean, this baseball team's stacked. It's crazy how good they are. Yes, they did do a little bit of addition and subtraction. You know, you lose DeGrom, you add Verlander, but Carlos Correa is not replacing anyone, and Carlos Correa cannot be replaced, if you get what I'm saying there. He's one of the best players in baseball. There's no equal to him. So it's a great addition for the Mets, obviously. Great baseball team. Not surprised to see them at number two. Number three is going to be the Braves. The Braves did a little bit to get it better. They made kind of some unnecessary moves, in my opinion. I think Sean Murphy was a great player to acquire, but did they need him when they had years of control with William Contreras? I'm not completely sure. I'm not surprised to see him at this spot. Young team, tons of controlled players. We've been over this before. Very talented group. I think they're just not the team that NL East this year. I think Cohen's going to pull it off and win the division. Not saying he's going to win the World Series. I'll save my predictions for another time. Just talking about the power rankings today. Very solid baseball team. I mean, there's no other way to put it. One of the best baseball teams on the planet. Very talented, very young. I think last year was definitely a great test for them. They kind of got to see a little grit, see where their team lines up. Because they did win the World Series 2 years ago without Ronald Acuna Jr. They add Ronald Acuna Jr. back, they lose in the NLDS. So it's a tough situation for them. Obviously, one of the most talented groups in baseball. I'm not surprised to see them there, but I just don't see them winning the division. But yet again, their division's so stacked, so of course they're going to be ranked the third best team in baseball. Number four is my San Diego Padres. This is amazing. See us in the top five. I'm trying not to hide the smile right now. It's top five team in baseball. It's a great feeling. City of San Diego, stand up. Adding Xander Bogaerts, of course, no other way to put it. One of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best shortstops, one of the best leaders. He's a winner, 2-time World Series champion, 4-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger. I could go on and on about Xander Bogaerts. I think we could possibly pass the Mets if we get a big starter. If we're able to trade for a Pablo Lopez, Corbin Burnes would be obviously a pipe dream, but it's still possible. Never doubt AJ Preller. I think we'd be a top 3 team in baseball. I really just like it. I like being in this conversation. And let's not forget, the 2 teams ahead of us, 2 in the NL East, 1 in the AL West. Where does that put the Dodgers in the power rankings? Oh, behind the Padres. Yankees, number 5. The Yankees, of course, added more starting pitching. They have the best rotation in baseball. I'm willing to admit it. I do like the Padres rotation, but this Yankees rotation is something else, man. It really is. Lineup needs a little bit of fixing. You know, you still have IKF. You still have Donaldson. You still have Hicks. There's some holes. Can you count on Stanton? Yes, maybe. Who knows? Still a very talented baseball. There's no way they're going to be outside the top 5, even with these question marks. The Yankees know how to win. That's why they're there. Interesting now, the team that went to the World Series and added Treaturner and added another solid starter in Taijuan Walker. Where are they ranked? 6th. They're ranked 6th. I mean, there's great teams ahead of them. I can't say anything was surprising about that. The Phillies being 6 is not surprising. 7, the Dodgers, the team that won 111 baseball games last year. They lose Treaturner, they lose some minor players, but very important players. There's one thing about the Dodgers I will say, and as a Padres fan, I recognize this. It doesn't matter if Tyler Anderson relieves. They'll find a new Tyler Anderson. They find a way to develop this talent. They have a huge hole at shortstop, though. I don't think Gavin Lux is the answer. Still, I think 7's a little on the lower side for them. I think they should be hovering around top 5. I don't know. I would put them ahead of the Phillies right now. The Mariners at 8. See, I don't know how to feel about the Mariners at 8. Yes, they're a great young team. They dismantled most of their farm coming up to make this team work. They're a great team. They're going to continue to develop. And yes, this isn't necessarily their year to go all in and win the World Series. That's why they haven't. But in 2 to 3 years is definitely going to be their best opportunity. I don't know about them at 8. I think there's some teams that I'd rather put ahead of them. I don't know. I think the Rays will win more games. The Rays will find a way. The Mariners are in a tough division now. There's 3 solid teams in that division, 3 competitive teams. Still, they do deserve to be a top 10 team. 9, the team from Canada, the Blue Jays. Blue Jays solid. They added some pieces. They also had to replace some pieces. Kind of adding and subtracting, kind of similar to what I said to a team earlier. Very good baseball team, though. I'm not surprised to see them in the top 10. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be the Rays. The Rays will find a way to win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say here. They're going to find their way into the playoffs. I could say their roster isn't good on paper, but they'll find a way to do it. 11 being the Cardinals. The Cardinals will have one of the better records of the teams that I've mentioned so far. They play in a weaker division, though. Of course, we don't play our division as much this year. I don't know. The Cardinals they need pitching. They don't jump off the paper to me. Guardians at 12, not surprised at all. They just came off of a great year with the young core. They added Josh Bell. They look like a very solid baseball team. I would say they're hovering around top 10. That's why 12 is a great spot for them. 13 is the Rangers. The Rangers could be a top 10 in baseball team, or they could be a bottom 20 baseball team. We don't really know. They added tons of great pieces. They've spent over $1 billion in the last 2 off seasons. They have a great roster. Just let's see if this will work. Let's see if the on-field product will play together, because baseball's a sport where you can't build a super team and expect to win. 14, the Brew Crew. The Brew Crew are kind of slowing down. They play in a weaker division, so they'll still win a decent amount of games. Almost made the playoffs. They didn't make any major additions as far as I remember, and they're talking about making some major subtractions. And Willie Adames, Corbin Burns, and Brandon Woodruff possibly being traded. I don't know what direction this team's heading. They're kind of heading towards a rebuild. Still a solid baseball team, and still a team that's going to be in the mix. 15, the Orioles. Can the Orioles take that next jump? They had their good season. Then now let's see if they can duplicate it and repeat it. I'm very, very interested in that. I think 15 is a good spot for them. They still have the best farm system in baseball. Don't be shocked if they try to make a big trade for like a Corbin Burns very, very soon. White Sox at 16. I don't know how to feel about the White Sox. They took a step forward in 2021. Now they take 2 steps backwards. I don't know what to feel about them. They lose Jose Abreu, their leader, their clubhouse leader. It's a tough situation. I don't know what to expect with the White Sox. I think 16 may be a little high for the White Sox. They may be a below 500 team. They finished at 500 on the dot last year. I could see them possibly being a below 500 team. Now the Angels at 17. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. I'm not an Angels fan. I like the Angels. They have a stacked roster now. They don't have as much pitching as they need to win a World Series, but they could definitely compete for a wild card. I really like this team. I think it's a very talented team, just like a team that I mentioned earlier. It's just, can they put this on the field? Can the on-field product perform? Which has been the issue of the Angels for the past, 15 years now? Can the on-field product perform? Has not happened. Let's see if this year's the year. Last year before already sells out. Now these next 3 teams are in the same book, being Twins, Cubs, Giants. They're kind of trying to head into a winning direction, but I just don't know if the vision's clear enough yet. I think the Cubs definitely have a lot more clear vision than these other 2 teams. I think they're all going to be kind of middle of the boat, kind of in a mix. Although the Cubs could be very competitive and give a couple teams a run for their money. Correa leaving from the Twins is a big deal, and the Giants, losing Correa too. Isn't that funny? 2 of those 3 teams lost out on Correa. D-backs at 21. Now, this is an interesting one, and I'm going to take a second talking about this because I think the D-backs could be a top 15 team, and I think they should be a top 15 team ranking-wise. I'm a big fan of them. Yes, they don't have the star-studded names you need, but they were in the mix in the wild card in September. Yes, they fell off. They were winning games at the end of the year. They look like a great baseball team. They've made some major additions that'll help this team win. If they get some more pitching, watch out. I think they'll definitely be in contention for those wild card spots. Marlins, Red Sox, Rockies, 3 teams with an unclear vision. I think the Marlins can definitely compete. They need a lot more help in their lineup. That's why trading Pablo Lopez, Edward Cabrera, and Luzardo all makes sense for them. And I think they'll get that help, and I think we'll see a deal very, very soon between those teams. Very interesting stuff. I would say they're about even, and I really think that's the spot for them. Reds, Royals, Tigers, all teams that are heading into a rebuild or currently in a rebuild. Nothing much to expect there. They're in tank season. They're trying to win the lottery. They're going to have some young talent come up here through there. They have Bobby Witt on the Royals. You have Hunter Green on the Reds. You have a couple of options between teams. It's just going to be flip at the deadline, the veterans they have, and try to build that farm up and create a winning organization in 3 to 4 years. Closing out the list is going to be Pirates. Nationals and A's are the worst team ranked in baseball right now. I think it all makes sense. The Pirates are trying to head to a winning organization. They're trying to rebuild. They have some bright spots. I think O'Neal Cruz is a bright spot talent-wise. He hasn't performed as well at the major league level yet. They could get a lot in exchange for Brian Reynolds if they decide to trade him. There's a lot of pieces they can use to build. Same with this other teams. I mean, I would say the A's are kind of lost. The Nationals are a little bit lost. But the Nationals, let's not forget, they sold off Juan Soto and really built that farm up. The A's are kind of lost. The one talented player was Sean Murphy. He's gone now. The team is a dumpster fire. I think it's only a matter of time till they move to Vegas. But that is going to wrap up the list. Comment your guys' list down below. Give me your top 5. Give me your top 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're yet to hit that subscribe button, I highly recommend you do so. Same with that like button. I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Peace.
Yes. 305 to the 619, baby. Let's go. Let's go, San Diego. Live that shit up, San Diego. Let's fucking go. Woo! It's our fucking house. Hey. It's our house right here, baby. Let's go.